Okay, so we are trying to learn the continuous delivery pipeline today. So as part of the continuous delivery pipeline, these are all the set of stages, okay, which will be there in the pipeline. So publish artifacts, publishing artifacts, nothing but publishing to Nexus or some FTP server, blah blah blah, anywhere. Okay, and next thing is deploy to the environment. Okay, so we will be deploying these artifacts to a certain environment, and test automation. Okay, test automation implementation. So this test automation implementation is something like, we will not be doing any test automation. Only thing is we will trigger the test automation. Okay, which is nothing but we will make use of a QA automation suite to be triggered with our pipeline system. So these are all the set of stages in a continuous delivery pipeline. So whenever there is a commit, it should go through all these phases. Okay, and all these phases we can divide into multiple jobs so that it is easy for us to perform the uh, continuous continuous delivery in different stages. Okay, so I'm going to put automatic code checkout and build, okay, and also the unit test publishing artifacts over there in this one. Okay, so what I'm trying to do it's gone. Okay, sorry guys, let me try to copy this. So this job, okay, let's call the project name is project A. Okay, and I will create a job called project A build job. Okay, so the project A build job will perform the automatic code checkout and also perform the build and run the unit test and run the scenario analysis and publish the artifacts. Okay, so this is one job I'll create it, and I'll create one more job called project A underscore deploy. So what exactly this will do it? This will deploy the published artifacts. Okay, so you might have published this artifact to some Nexus system, right? Okay, so see, this is what your Nexus. So you might publish some, just a second guys. I think he might be facing some problem. Okay, okay, no issues. So the next job I'm going to prepare is project A deploy. So as part of this job, what I will do it, I'll try to download these artifacts from the Nexus. Okay, and I'll try to deploy it. So this downloading may happen at deployment, like when I say project deploy, right, it can happen over here or it can happen directly on the server. So when I say deploy, right, it actually deploys into an environment. Okay, and this environment you can have a number of servers, right? So this job will take care of deploying it. So what happens, the actual deployment time, if you're using a chef kind of a tool, okay, so what it will do, it will directly download from the Nexus with the help of your wget command. Okay, if it's some scripting language, it should go through your, what do you call, your job. Okay, so it depends on which architecture, which tool or which technology you're using to deploy it. So right now we are going to use the chef as our deployment system. So project deploy, right, so what we will do it here, we'll perform the deploy of artifacts. Okay, so as part of that we will run the chef bootstrap command against the environment, okay, against the below environment, right? So that's the second job. And the third job is, so here mostly once the project deployment is done, okay, so you won't have anything to do it. But the thing is, in organizations, when you're implementing the continuous delivery pipeline, your automation team, your QA automation team, they would have definitely developed some smoke suite or regression suite. Okay, so what exactly this suite is, they will develop a suite with a test automation framework, like it can be Selenium or APM or QTP, okay, and your job is to, like, trigger that, okay, trigger the suit. So you need to trigger the Selenium suit so that this suit will work or will test your entire running application. So whatever you deployed, right? So it works against this environment, okay, and it performs all the test cases, and finally it says, like, whether the environment is running properly or not. Okay, so this is what entire pipeline. So if somebody commits something, like, it should go through all this pipeline and should result a report saying, like, this is properly, I mean, finally you should get a report saying, like, code sanity. Okay, so code sanity, nothing but the commit, whatever you made it, whether it is properly committed or not. Okay, nothing but the functional testing of the commit is successfully completed or not. So everything can get the end of this job. So now this entire stuff, the end stakeholders like the dev team, QA team, whoever it is, they don't want to see the technical side. They wanted to have a nice diagrammatical view, so they wanted to know what is going on in your entire pipeline. So this and all the stages, okay, are all the stages in a sequential way, okay, like one by one is called a pipeline actually. So nothing but once the build is done, immediately it should trigger the deployment. Once the deployment is done, immediately it should trigger the test, okay. So this is a kind of a forward pipeline. So this pipeline we need to implement it. So to implement this, we can make use of the Jenkins, okay. So let's start configuring our Jenkins. Guys, any problem? Somebody, like, keep on logging in.
Hello, Chiranjeev.
Yeah, Mahendra.
Recording, and I'm not able to see the record.
Hey, it is recording, man. I can see that. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So, fine. So let's prepare a project. Okay. Now what I will do it, I'll come up with a new project. Okay. Project A, build. Right. Sorry, I created a view, not a project, guys. New item. Project A, build. Okay. So I wanted to copy from my existing job, guys. I don't want to do any experiment. So let's try to copy from existing one. There is already a project, right? CA build. Let's copy from that. So we need to prepare all these three jobs first. Okay. So this should check out the code from Git or SVN and all. Okay. But do we have a Git or SVN right now? I don't think so. Let me try to set up that. Okay, this is 33.10. So does it have a subversion? Yes. Control skip status. This is not running. Okay. On which port it is running, guys? Let me see. Subversion. Eight zero double seven. Okay. 192.33.80.77. Subversion. Harry. Okay, trunk. So what I'm going to do it, let's try to have our lead up application here. Then it makes sense actually. Okay. So DevOps and practice SVN checkout. Get into the trunk. Okay, SVN delete all. Yes, okay, now what you'll do, we'll copy that. Okay, DevOps, practice, and practice. So this is what our lead app, right? So get your lead app, all stuff. You don't want the build, I don't want the build directory and this directory. Control C and get it to the trunk. Just paste it. Okay, now SVN add start. Everything is added. Now commit, added, lead app. Okay, all good. Now you look at your repository, so you have your code here. And the same code you try to put it out there with the subversion, okay, which is Harry, right? Now this will check out the code and immediately it should build it, right? So I should have a build step as well. So invoke and my and I want to prepare a var, okay. Then once that is done, I want to archive the SQL file and as well as a var file. So see, it typically follows the AND structure. So wherever the var file is there, it will just pick it up. Similarly, wherever the SQL file is there, it will just pick it up. Okay. Now this will archive your artifacts as well. Let's try to build it and see. Build. Okay, all looks good. Now my first job has been completed and I have a lead app.var schema.sql. So let's try to prepare the other job as well, the deployment job. Okay. So project A deploy. Okay. Now I'll create a freestyle one because for this I don't want anything to be created. Uh, Now this job typically what happens runs on chef workstation. So just description I'm writing it so that now you can recognize where exactly this is run. Now I don't want any code to be downloaded here, okay, so I can directly run the bootstrap commands and all. Okay, so execute this shell, okay, and you go back to yesterday's what is it, yeah, history, bootstrap command. Okay, so this is what your bootstrap command, which runs the lead app front end. Okay, and similarly lead app db. Am I right? So now once lead app front end is done, wait for some 5 seconds, okay, and then do the db. So you can write something like, starting lead app deployment. Okay, so a couple of lines, and make sure this runs on your chef workstation. So your chef workstation is this server, guys. Okay, so in this server we need to run a Jenkins slave actually. So let's try to run the slave first and map that to this job. Okay, so go to the slaves, nodes, create a new node, call it as the chef workstation, give some name. Okay, and remote home directory, home, and the remote home directory what you're supposed to provide is like home vagrant, okay, this should be fine. And how do you want it to launch this? And I want to launch it with SSH. Okay, what is the IP address of that machine? 168.40.11. Okay, and username password is vagrant. Okay, now let's see whether this is launching it or not. authentication is successful. Now it's been successfully launched, guys. Okay, so it's launched. So now the deployment job, whatever you have it, okay, the deployment job should be pointed to this. You can find where this project can be run. So chef, when you type this, you will get the workstation. At the same time, you can define the workspace as well. Okay, uh, use you can find an advanced section. Okay, use custom workspace. Okay, so the directory. So what I wanted to do it, I want to get in the chef repo because you can run the bootstrap command only from here. Okay, copy that. Okay, that is what your custom workspace, and here you can run all these commands. Cool. So my deployment job is ready. Okay, but ideally the approach is, in a deployment job you have to check out your cookbooks, guys. Okay, you have to check out your cookbooks and you have to run it. So I'm not doing all the stuff because uh, we have only one couple of cookbooks, lead and lead but in ideal scenario you might be having a number of projects. So to make the uh, projects deployment dynamically, right, you have to check in your cookbooks as well and check out in deployment job. Okay, so let's try to run this deploy job where it is running fine or not. Okay, so can you see this? It is running the bootstrap against the 40.12 and performing the DB stuff. Whatever you do from the console, right, the terminal, it is doing it from the Jenkins. So it's performing the MySQL server first, the DB part. So let it go on. Meanwhile, I'll create the other job as well, the last job. Project A test. This is for test automation. Okay, so freestyle project. So ideally in this job, right, you have to check out the test automation suite code and you have to trigger the automation suite. Okay, but right now we don't have any automation suite and all, but in the real world, if you get an opportunity to trigger this, you just have to call their APIs. Okay, and calling their API, you can either do it from the shell or command prompt. You ask them, they will provide the command. That command you have to execute over here. Okay, so starting the test automation suite. Okay, you perform whatever you wanted to do it. Okay, blah blah, like sh execute .sh. They'll provide all the scripts to you. Okay, you just have to run it. Now once that is done, you can just finish. I'm just waiting, keeping for 3 minutes, some 5 seconds, so that it'll hold for a while. Right, now all 3 jobs ready with me. Okay, my deploy job seems to be successful, guys. Okay, so this is good. And now once you have all these 3 jobs ready, you can prepare a pipeline. Okay, so click on this one and say project A list view. Okay, now I think there should be a pipeline plugin installed, not this one, guys. We have to install a Jenkins pipeline plugin. It should be there somewhere. It's a newer version, right? Yeah, here it is, the pipeline now. Say project A. In earlier versions it is not here. We used to create it as a view. Oh, seems to be some different, this pipeline. So in earlier versions it is completely different, guys. It's not like that. Let me see what exactly this is. This is entirely different. Uh, Manage Jenkins, manage plugins, available, pipeline, build pipeline plugin. Okay, this is the one. Let me see if we have any other pipelines. Okay, that's it. It seems to be. Okay, let's try to install that plugin. Oh, this is good. So once this plugin is installed, I should be able to find something over here. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Build pipeline. Okay, so project a pipeline. Project A continuous delivery. So here we have to provide the jobs. Okay, project one, project A build. Okay, the initial job. Just leave it. Okay, now go back to the home, guys. Now your pipeline is in a kind of a forward direction, right? You look at the pipeline forward direction. So if this is successful, you should trigger the second one. If this is successful, you should trigger the third one. So this dependency, you have to manage it within the build jobs. Okay, so like this. Go to the configure. You have something called build trigger. Okay, build trigger after other parts are built. Project A build. So once this is done, it should trigger automatically. So this is the link between the first part and the second project. I mean, first job and the second job. Okay, and next the last job. Configure. Okay, build trigger, and this depends on the deploy. Right, apply, save it. Right. So now your pipeline is ready, guys. Your pipeline name is project A CD pipeline. Click on that. Can you see this? So your project one pipeline this is. So you have a three jobs, three stages: project A build, project A deploy, project A test. If you have another couple of stages also, you can add it. It's not a big deal. Okay. So if you try to trigger the build of if you try to trigger the pipeline, right, it will trigger entire flow one by one. If you want, you can try it out. Okay, just trigger this. So did you see that yellow color? The project A build is going on. Okay, now you don't have to worry about it. It will just trigger the rest of stuff as like one by one once it is successful. You can see that. You try to refresh, you can find that what is going on in the second one. Guys, it is not that easy to implement this. Okay, we need to put lot of efforts behind this. The look and feel, everything looks nice from the Jenkins point of view, but to prepare this right, think about the last 1 month efforts from your end, how much you learned. Okay, to perform the first step, you should know what is version controlling system. Okay, and what is like ant maven and all, what is our nexus artifact stuff. Okay, and then later uh, for the deployments, you should know about the Linux first. Okay, some bit of scripting, and again the very complex tool chef, you should know the chef system to like deploy, right? So it is not so easy to implement the pipeline. See, it's your Jenkins is a kind of a showcase for you guys. That's it. Okay, the efforts are running in the background actually. Without those efforts, this is nothing, the Jenkins front end. So the deployment is still going on. Guys, did you understand the pipeline? That's it. This is what the continuous delivery process model. Did you get it? Kiran, Shashi, Mahendra, and if you don't understand anything, ask me.
Hello.
Yeah, Mahendra.
Can you please explain the architecture diagram? I have missed it.
Architecture diagram of continuous. Okay, this one, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
So what exactly continuous delivery mean is, see, I hope you guys remember the continuous integration what I explained in my CA session. Okay, so in a continuous integration, right, we were doing only this stuff. Okay, this is called continuous integration, CI. Okay, so what exactly CD mean? Continuous delivery meaning is automated deployments of each commit and execute the test automation. So what I'm trying to say is, to implement the continuous integration, okay, you should be able to perform automated deployments, okay, of each commit. At the same time, you should have a capability of running the test automation. So this test automation, your job is to trigger, but actually the suit is prepared by your test automation team. So in every project development team, you can find automation team as well, okay. So their job is to, like, develop the automation suite against an environment. So now what you need to do it as part of your pipeline or continuous delivery model, you have to trigger that job. So that is part of your project test. And the second thing is a automated deployment. So this is what automated deployment. And the first thing is, like, your entire continuous integration stuff, like, check out the code, build, run the unit test, okay, publish the artifact, all this stuff which you do it in the CA, okay. Now this continuous integration is an continuous delivery is an extension of continuous integration with continuous deployments and continuous testing, okay. If you include the automatic deployment, automatic testing with your continuous integration, that we call it as a CD, and that abbreviation is CD, abbreviation is continuous delivery, okay. And this entire continuous delivery model, we can implement kind of a pipeline, okay. The look and feel of this diagram looks, this image looks like a pipeline, right? So that's the reason people call, like, did you ever implemented the CD pipeline, okay. So CD pipeline is nothing but there will be a project, and the project will be having different stages, okay. One in CA stage, deploy stage, automation stage, okay. So if you could able to complete that entire stages, then this is called the continuous delivery pipeline, okay. And for that, we have to create each and every stage in a form of a Jenkins job, and those jobs we need to put it in the delivery pipeline. Did you get it, Mahinder?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. So
Thank you.
see, yeah, it need not be 3 stages, guys. It can be n number of stages. It's all upon like, our comfortness, and, like, it's all about like, how many stages you want to implement. See, if you want, I can divide this project build stage into 2 stages. One is the build and another is the unit test and sonar, all those stuff. 2 stages, okay. But it's all up to your comfort, okay. You can make it like, 1 stage or 2 stages, but minimum 3 stages is important, guys, because build is always independent, and deployment is always independent, and test is always independent, okay. So these are the 3 minimum stages, but you can still increase it. This is for one project, okay. If you create project B, project C, you can find same kind of a row at the beginning, at the bottom here, like, if you want, I can create it, but anyway, you can try it out if you want. So project B you can find here, project C, so you can have n number of pipelines in this job, okay. So you might be thinking, like, somebody should come and trigger the run here. Not required, guys, okay. So if you want this pipeline to be automatically executed, okay, because the continuous delivery definition says every commit, every code commit, okay, every code commit should perform the continuous delivery. So suppose if I try to commit something in my code, okay, so I'm in trunk right now, okay. If I try to commit some code here, it should automatically trigger the pipeline. So for that, what you're supposed to do it, you have to go to your build job, okay, and you have to poll for your SVN actually. build triggers, whole SCM, okay, start. I know to explain what is this. It's a scheduling, okay. Right, now it is looking for the any changes for the SVN. So let's try to perform some changes. What is your schema.sql, guys? Lead, okay, we don't want this to be there here, okay. I don't think our application should be working because there are some changes happen here now. 168.44.12.8080. Read up. Is it 40 or 44? 40 dot. Okay. User.java chart. Java chart. Okay. Good. This seems to be nice. Let's make some changes here. Builder properties. Okay. I'm trying to remove all this stuff, guys. SVN commit -m modified build script. Okay. I just committed now. Have a look at the pipeline now. I'm not doing anything, so it should trigger the build automatically, the pipeline, and follow the rest of the jobs as usual. Okay. Yep, it is going to start the pipeline now. Just keep refresh. I'm not triggered. I didn't trigger this one. Can you see this? It's triggered now. Okay. So this is called automatic pipeline deployment. So whenever there is a code commit happens, it does the same cycle one by one it always keeps on going on. Okay. So the benefit what exactly the organization or the project manager or all the stakeholders are getting is every code commit will go through this process, right? People will be aware of if there are any compilation failures, it will block it here. It will not proceed further. If there are any deployment issues, it will block it here. It will not proceed. If there are any functional issues, okay, something wrong with with the application, it will block it here. So that the early detection of the problem, nothing but instead of waiting till the end of the project development, nothing but instead of waiting for 100 commits to be done, for every commit you are verifying all this stuff, right? So which will protect or which will prevent all the issues in a release time. So that's the main benefit of implementing the continuous delivery pipeline. So that's it, guys. With this we are pretty much done with all the stuff except one topic, which is the Docker. Okay. And the Docker is also another deployment system, guys. As I explained in the deployment automation topic, there are three ways we can perform the deployments. One is with the scripting, okay, and one is with the DevOps tool like a Chef, Puppet and all, and another is the next generation deployment system, which is going to be the Docker. Okay. So right now many companies are most of the people are not preferring the Docker for production deployments, but internal deployments they are using it. Okay. But still, having a knowledge of the Docker for a DevOps engineer at this momentum, it's something really good and added advantage for your profile as well. So we're gonna start the Docker tomorrow, guys. Okay, it will take couple of sessions and we'll see. I'll explain you what is the Docker. Again, there also the architecture is most important. You'll bit confused, but try to understand. Okay, so you come out from Chef world and scripting world now. Okay, it's completely new thing, the Docker world. Okay, so I'll show you what it is exactly and how it is defined architecture and how we're gonna implement it. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. We'll catch up tomorrow. If you have any questions, I can explain you now. Any queries? Shashi, Mahendra, Kiran? Any queries?
Hello.
Yeah, Mahendra.
Yesterday we had some issue in deploying those MySQL.
Yeah, SQL, right. Yeah, I remember.
Yesterday
Okay, the cookbook which you prepared, we are trying to, okay, we are deploying with the root user, not with the normal user, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, I remember. Sorry guys, I didn't get a time to look into that issue. I'll check it out today. Okay, so why we are
Okay,
not able to
okay,
create that user? Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
okay.
Any other issues? Any other issues in today's session? CD pipeline is pretty easy if you know the background stuff. There is nothing new to learn. Okay, just create the new jobs and put all those commands and scripts and run it. Fine. I hope you guys are good. So I'm closing the session, guys. We'll catch up tomorrow then. Okay. See you all.